Hey guys, how's it going? Today I'm talking about the subject of, is humanity doomed to head in a destructive direction? Well, the way that the world is going now, you may think that we're bound to just go that way, and there's going to be more war and less peace, and it's just going to destroy itself. But I beg to differ in some way. So the thing is that with all these things happening in this world right now, yeah, it looks bad. I mean, we've gone through basically a deadly virus that we're still facing until they actually have a proper way of treating it, or if they have a proper vaccine for it and stuff like that. We have the whole, like, all these protests happening all over the world, and people are just frustrated. There's also like a lot of work that's just not there. Like, people are just not working. There's a lot of unemployed people. There's people trying to find themselves. We're frustrated. A lot of people are staying home a lot. We're taking our daily walks, kind of like how I'm doing my little walk and talk and stuff like that. But at the same time, what is it? Like, are we heading towards destruction? I do think that at the same time, we kind of are in some way. But at the same time, we kind of aren't. So some things we are destroying some things, but sometimes it's for the better, because an initial destruction can lead to a rebuilding. And it doesn't always have to be, destruction doesn't mean that everything is destroyed. It just means that sometimes we need a clean slate in order to grow, in order to make things better. And it's kind of like a sort of purging that's happening now in the world, where things are kind of cleaning up, and people are realizing that maybe some things that have been happening for years and years and years are not exactly right. And because of that, and the frustration, the combination of things, it's basically the perfect way of the perfect way of having catastrophes happening at the same time, in order to create this kind of like recipe for disaster. But even in past times, we've been at wars, we've had a lot of other illnesses and stuff like that. The world has recovered. But now, I think what we need to understand is, as a human society, well, what do we want? What do we want to create out of this earth? Because oftentimes when you look at religions and stuff like that, they focus on the fact that if you don't do good on this world, well, you're going to go to hell, and we want to go to heaven. But then at the same time, well, earth is kind of heaven if you want it to be. I mean, look at it. We have greenery, we have good air, we have just so many things, and it just makes you think in some ways, like, why are we so stubborn that we have decided that we needed to create all these wars? Well, I think a lot of it has come with greediness, and also the fact that maybe some people who have had power for all their life, or their families have had powers, on this world for centuries, don't kind of want to give it up. So by not wanting to give it up, well, they're basically making the life of other people worse. And at the same time, maybe things that did work in the government are not working so much anymore. Just because also, like, again, as I've spoken in other videos and stuff, we have technology that has taken over. And the technology that has taken over has made us think differently, and has actually made some jobs that were existing for a long time in some ways semi-obsolete or obsolete, and it's just getting worse with time. So at the same time, we need to adapt as a society and understand that if there's more and more people that are going to be born on this world, we need to find a way to share that wealth, so that it doesn't always have to be the same people who have that abundance of cash, and then the rest of the world kind of has to just suffer and work like crazy and enslave themselves. Because I think as humanity, we do want to work. We do want to find a sort of purpose in life. We want to find a way of saying, hey, you know, like, I'm doing my part, but we also don't want to basically slave ourselves, except if you really enjoy what you're doing. But then it's not really work, even though you're lucky that you're making money off of it. But I think we want to find a balance of doing some work, doing things for ourselves, and then also being a couch potato on and just watching some TV, because that's part of living too. So that's where it gets a little bit difficult. And if we don't pay attention to that, and we just have that kind of like only work ethic, then we're going to head into destruction when you're not that kind of personality, because not everyone is that way. And if not everyone is that way, well, how can you create a balance, you know? So no matter how bad you feel, basically, just as a final note, no matter how bad you feel about the things that are happening now in the world, no matter how you feel like we're heading towards destruction and that's the end of the rainbow, kind of think of it as taking a new class in college and feeling overwhelmed for all the work that needs to be done. And then you kind of take a step back and you realize that if you take it step by step and you do the work little by little, then this magic things happen, that things accumulate. And if things accumulate, well, then you're able to learn from that, and what seems like a lot of work becomes a little bit of work, because it's building on it. So build the trust in the world, and don't think of it as so bad. Luckily, we're not, you know, people who had or who are in war or during Second World War and all that stuff, that were like literally being brought into camps and all these things, they had it way worse than us. We're in a world where we have so much technology, where even if you don't have a lot of money, with a minimum, you're able to have television at home, you're able to draw, to paint, to write, to do all these things that people would have killed to have had in other times, you know. And we have this all at basically the tip of our fingers, even from something such as mundane as a cell phone. And if we have that right here, well, we have more than whatever other generations had in the past, yet we're still complaining that we want more, because we feel that it's our God-given right. But it's not always that way. So that's what I wanted to share. Hope you guys enjoyed my talk, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.